What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Duran Duran. And we're going back to a tune that was originally supposed to be on the Big Thing album, but was later replaced by a remix. So yeah, we're back to listen to the original version of Drug, It's Just a State of Mind, the one that John Taylor liked, and the one that was eventually left off the album for the remix. And even though on the album it doesn't say remix, my understanding is the one that I listen to is the more kind of like dance, like house driven remix of the original. So Izzy sent me the original version, so that's what we're going to listen to. You know, it's been a couple days and I've been thinking about the title, and there were, people who commented and had some opinions. In the moment, I was thinking like the narrator was describing himself as a drug, that he could be sort of consumed and he can take this other person to sort of these dizzying heights, and that, maybe the effect won't last, but he can be consumed again and again and so on. And then I was thinking maybe it could be about different things in society or culture or interpersonal connections that are pursued with a sort of addictive, intense way, in an addictive, intense way, and therefore, like, they are interacting with that source material, whether again it's a sort of interaction with another person or it's like a type of entertainment or whatever that is drug-like. It is giving them a chemical rush, a dopamine hit in the way that certain types of drugs can. But then a couple other people commented that maybe it's about the way in modern society, there's a drug to help you do anything, drug to help you sleep, drug to help you, get through the day or stay awake. There are, chemicals that have been sort of targeted for, consumption and purchase, it should be said. So yeah, I think it could be taken that way. And then I was thinking that maybe, or someone else was commenting, and this was something that I was thinking, like, in the context of thinking of the narrator as a drug for the other person. There were a couple of people who mentioned that they think it's specifically about sex, about like the physical end of intimacy, and that like the way that can be addictive, the way that can seem like a rush when everything else in the world is sort of dead and so on. So yeah, I think it could be taken a number of different ways. I'd be interested now that I'm going to listen to it a second time, although in a different sonic idiom, if some more contours hit me, or maybe just if like it coalesces more toward one of those interpretations than others. But even then, it won't be authoritative or definitive or anything. But yeah, when I listen to tunes multiple times, they do tend to start to like shift into like particular understandings. So we'll see if that is a process that takes place here. But I am interested to hear the sonic differences, because again, my understanding is that the one that I heard that is on this album is a little more dance oriented, is somewhere between maybe like kind of a house or electro style. But also my understanding is that this version has more of kind of like a classic Duran sort of sound. And once again, my understanding is that John Taylor much preferred this version, to the point where I think Izzy and some other people said like it was to the point where he was maybe going to leave the band because he was so upset that they had used this different version of it instead of the one that they originally recorded. So without any further ado, let's get to it. This is Duran Duran and the original version of Drug, It's Just a State of Mind. Once again, shout out to Izzy for helping me react to this.
Take me in the morning, take me in the night, take me when you're feeling low, take me when you wanna stay. Take me, take me, take me, take me,
I am picking up on a bit of a difference, but like a lot of the elements feel, if not identical, like very close. Some make you do this, some make you sweat. It's only there for you to choose. So like, again, I feel like you could go different ways with that. You could take that as a metaphor for physical intimacy, but you could also say it's like, you want a drug for this? We got it. You want a drug for that? We got that too. difference at this point. Yeah. The keys are standing out more. But again, all you gotta do is use me as like, I'm the chemical, I'm the thing you need. I'll take you to that place. Yeah. And I think it's like all these things. It's like, take me when you want to stay up all night. Again, that could play out a number of different ways, but normally when you say that, it's because you're going to be burning up the room, right? Yeah, like, this version I feel more of a direct connection to Notorious. Like, I can feel this growing out of the sound of Notorious a little more clearly than the other version. Yeah, I like the composition here. And again, like, all of those lines work on a sexual interpretation in the morning, in the evening, when your mood is low, when you're feeling right, like. I think this is the beauty of the Blonde's lyrics, right? Like, there's enough there that there's so much you can do with them, but there's nothing that definitively rules out the majority of interpretations. And again, I know there are some songs that, like, as he wrote them, they're about specific people and so on, but, you know, even in those cases, I feel like there are themes that can apply to different situations in different people's lives. But like I said, I think one of the genius aspects of his lyrics is there's enough there that you can sort of play with the themes and think about the different ways that they could apply. But there's nothing necessarily definitive. Certainly not in a way that, like, again, rules out other interpretations. There might be some lines that perhaps lead you to one interpretation more than another, although again, I think that is a subjective process, leading people to sort of like slightly different destinations. But yeah, even then, I do think there's rarely a moment where I feel like, oh, well then he can't be talking about that or this or that. Like, there's always enough there to give you a sketch, give you a scene, give you a concept, but to still leave enough open for you to sort of understand it and apply it in whatever way like hits your brain in that moment. So yeah, I do think he's a genius songwriter, and the more I listen to Duran Duran and also Arcadia, the more I come to realize this. So yeah, I do enjoy that song, lyrically especially. Like, as I said, I think this version, I can hear a little bit more of the direct line through Notorious, whereas the other one, again, it feels like maybe it's, you know, almost like jumping ahead to the 90s a little more with kind of its dance feel. But yeah, it was cool. I think I do like this version better, but ultimately, in regard to this song overall, my brain is now kind of keying in a little more on the lyrics than the sonics, which, you know, it tends to go one way or the other. Some songs are just like so incredible in both respects, but yeah, right now my brain is like really interested in the lyrics. So like I said, you know, there were a lot of people who commented on the other video in terms of their thoughts, but if there's anything that I've sort of left unsaid or an interpretation that you think you know, somehow like ties some of these notions together, do let me know. Other than that, thank you for listening and watching. I will see you next time.